morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, the seasons are certainly changed and we haven't had rain now for pretty much going on about 7 weeks, and temperatures have been high and whatnot. And I thought now we've got no water whatsoever in our swales. And what I thought I would do is just come through and do a bit of a cleanup with the hedge trimmer or the whippersnipper thing, and sort of come through. Now, what you can see is that when we dug these, obviously this was all just clay built up on both sides. Now, or sorry, on my right hand side we've built up, this is all flat through here. And what we've found is that over the period now of, how long has it been? Probably about 3 or 4 years now, the ecosystem here has really kicked on. And you can see I've got all these water reeds and everything else all on the bank, and you can see obviously where the water runs through here. Now, what I wanted to show you was this water reed here, but underneath it is still really moist, like so. So what I thought we would do is just go through. So this has got the ground cover on it, let's say, and this is all sort of just evolved naturally. But if you come up here, this we've got where we don't have any cover. Here, Mo, out of the way. Move. You can see where it's all cracked, all through here. So what I'm thinking is, what I'm going to end up doing here is just cut. I'm pretty happy with the way that I'm going to keep the banks and everything built up that way that we've got it, because we're certainly building up this ecosystem. But as the rain starts coming through, it's going to fill up into these cracks, into that clay pan, and then slowly seep back through. And you can see that this weed here, you know, and it's still, this is quite moist still, but certainly cracking. You know, I've got little grasses and things coming through. So it's almost time that we started cleaning up. And I want to show you a couple of the swales that we have and sort of go through that process. And like I said, keep these sort of water reeds as the barrier as the water starts coming through, because we are now coming, what are we? We're in autumn now, and really want to start looking at that winter rain and start harvesting again. So, but I'll take you to some other areas further up at the property, and you can see where the clay is really cracked, and you know, that's ready for that water to come in, like I was saying before. But up there I've got more grasses, so the ecosystem really hasn't kicked in like it has down here, because this is obviously staying a lot more moist over that summer period. And so I just want to, like I said, just drop all that grass, clean up the edges, get it all into the bottom, get some nutrients and everything else ready to go. So as that breaks down, that all those nutrients will start leaching back into the soil and then spreading out again. All right, so you can see, and we haven't planted any of these. This is, I'm not going to call, I'm almost thinking it's some sort of version of a willow, and that's obviously just come down through the swale from further up. But you know, here we are. The swales are fenced off, so the grass is really quite high, and we leave it high over the summer months, and then we'll bring the goats in and they'll just clean all this right through. So we sort of use these swales as like a backup per se, where feed's getting a little bit light on, we can then bring stock into these swale areas and let them do their thing. We'll get nutrients back into the swale itself, because this will become their main running path, and then they'll just clean everything up from there. And then we'll start with winter and everything's broken down and things like that. So, but let's have a look at some of the other swales, and I'll show you how dry those ones are. and we can go from there. So I'll see you soon. All right, so we've come up now into swale number 2, and you can see through this one here, we have a lot of this green grass that's sort of encroaching onto the swale itself. And this is really what I want to start cleaning out. So this is our high side, where all the spoil of the swale is gone. This is our low side running through here. And you can see, you know, I mean, there's still moisture in this ground here, but we've still got a lot of lots of green grass going on. But again, what we've done here is we've fenced this swale off, and so what we're finding is that no cattle can come in, and especially over these summer months, what we're finding is that, like we were saying before, is that we're letting the grass grow really to protect as much of that moisture content as we possibly can, because you can see where the sun hits, we're getting all this cracking. So, and that's really what we, and that's still quite moist compared to this side where you can see it's really dry. So anyway, so that's today's little project. So this swale here, this runs for probably about just over 1 kilometre, I suppose. And so I'll start cleaning up all the way through, and then we'll get this one done, and quite a few to do. Because I've got an area up here further on where the grass is really laid low into the bottom of the swale that I want to sort of remove, because it is causing a little bit of a blockage. So because of where I've got my spillway for this particular swale, it's getting very, very close to that having to be filled and then run over versus going over the spillway. So there's a few things that need to be modified, and like now here we are, sort of coming into, or in autumn, coming into winter. It's a good opportunity to really start doing some maintenance on the swales. We'll just do basically a chop and drop, get everything onto the ground. We'll let all that decompose. We'll get the nutrients in, and then the rain can then sort of take those nutrients subterraneously through. So a fair bit going on. What I'll do is, once we've got a section all squared away, I'll show you what I'm looking at and how I want to get things done, and then we can go from there. All right, so I'll get the little edge trimmer all sorted out, and away we go. So I'll be a couple of hours, I imagine, but yeah, it'll make a big difference. All right, so I'll come and find you, and I'll see you then. All right, so here we go. Look at this. We're starting to make our cut all the way through, and but what I thought was interesting, because I had a little thought I was going to have a little accident. Check out these little holes here. See these little holes? They're everywhere. In the bottom of the swale, on the side of the swales, just everywhere. And as I was coming through, yabbies were coming up with their little nippers. And I thought, oh, how good's that? So at least they're not snake holes, which is fantastic. Which makes sense, because just before these all dried out, so what was that, not that long ago, but we had a family, or a flock of, we counted 27, what were they, white billed or white-nosed herons come in, and they were just working the swales, which I thought, geez, what's going on there? And I just thought they were picking up a lot of the grasses or whatever it may be. But obviously they were picking up the yabbies, so all the way through. So as a part of, Mo, leave it. Hey! Here, chasing little lizards everywhere. So as a part of the ecosystem, I can now see that now that we've got invertebrates in here, the whole system is really kicking over. So, like, wow. So there's a lot of things that we're learning along the way that, okay, we've got yabbies now, hence as that water drops and they're still sitting up on top, the herons are going to come in, and like this whole thing is starting to evolve. But up here is what I wanted to show you. You can see this grass area, and this is the grass that's causing me dramas. So what's happening here is that we're getting a lot of pooling at this point because of this sort of poplar or willow or whatever it may be. And that sends out these crazy like net-like roots. So what's happening is that there must be, as we're mowing in the orchard or whatever it may be, grass seeds are coming in. And because that root is so fine, this is the area that I really wanted to concentrate on. So you can see like the yabbies absolutely love it. There's 1,000 holes just here. So what I have to do here is just bring this back down to clay, so that, as you can see on that side, I've got nothing. All I've just got here is just basically dry. That's all cracking, ready to rock and roll. So that's just ready for moisture. So I'll concentrate on this grass area here and continue through. I've got some proper water reeds heading up there. And then I've got to jump over to the fence into the goat paddock. And and again, it's the same process. So I won't bore you with any more of the antics, but I just thought I would just touch base about this is how we're sort of sorting it out, getting ready for winter, and hopefully that we've got a little bit of time up our sleeves so this can all start breaking down, and then we've got our water to start coming through. Because what we have to do first though is these swales are linked up to an overflow I've got on like a little silt dam. So that's got to fill up first. So even after the first good couple of rains that we get, we won't see water come through here until that's starting to overflow. But not that long away, not that long away. All right, so for all about swale maintenance, getting ready for the winter, getting ready for your harvesting, water harvesting, and looking after your food forest, or not, we haven't got a food forest yet, but now that we've got the pioneers are really starting to establish themselves now, we're going to start coming through and start planting out some peaches and apricots and basically just fruits that we can come through as a single pass, so we're not spending a lot of time in here. But like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.